meeting for September, which is the first of the new year of our meetings. We are going to just get right into our portion of the meeting, and we'll hand it right over to Pat.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cross Block. I'm the Financial Secretary of CEO. I'm going to have a little presentation on our status. Welcome back to the summer holidays. Just before we start, I noticed Pappy back there. He's really close to that box. It looks like there's a kid in it. Someone said to squeeze every Pappy. Might be a good idea. So I'll start off. This is our community map. You haven't seen this for a couple of months. This is the different communities in 43 Division and the representation we have here at those communities. And like always, we're always looking for more people to join the CPLC. So if you have any friends or anyone who would like to join, please let us know. All right, first off, we'll have a collision map. This map here shows the collisions that occurred in 43 Division throughout August. The different colored dots show different types of collisions. And then what's on top of here is a heat overlay, which shows you what we call hotspots where the collisions are happening. Once a week on Thursdays, we have a crime management meeting. And this map is shown to the superintendent, which shows the collisions for the week. And then he uses this map to decide on the enforcement initiatives for the upcoming week. And this month, one thing, this is a pretty average looking map. And one thing we've seen is these intersections down here along Eglinton, we have been having a little bit of heavier collisions around here in the month of August. You want to say anything, or?
Yeah, I do. Thank you. The focus for the coming week is going to be the northwest corner, which is basically the Scarborough Town Center portion of our division. As you can see, there's a concentration of collisions in that area. Why? Perhaps people are in a hurry to get where they want to go in that area, and they're not paying particular attention to their surroundings or their driving. I don't know. But we see consistently that is a higher than average area for collisions. Therefore, that's where we're going to direct our public safety efforts. So our enforcement for our officers, particularly Pappy, standing at the back, you'll see him up in the Scarborough Town Center area a lot as we try and drive down those collisions and make that particular area a safer area for the community.
This text map here, it's another traffic map. Again, once that heat overlay is the same from the previous map, it's the heat overlay of the collisions that occurred in August, but now those black crosses, those where enforcement has occurred in the division throughout the month. And actually, this median correlation with where the red hotspots are, you can see there's quite a bit more enforcement than in those areas. Good use of these maps. Moving on, we have some crime maps now. This one here is a map of all the break-ins that have occurred in the division in August. The different colored dots just associate with the different control zones within our division. What we saw in August, we saw an increase of commercial entries. We did not very many residential entries, which is nice to see. You can kind of see up and down Markham Road here, we had quite a few overnight commercial entries. Call in if you see something suspicious going on, so keep that in mind.
I'm not a superstitious person, but I'm going to touch wood. We haven't had a break-in enter in our division since September 2nd. So we're very fortunate that we're seeing a really sharp decline in the amount of break-in enters that are occurring in our division. And perhaps it's due to the fact that Peter Morera no longer works here that we're seeing such great. Oh, sorry, didn't see there.
This next map is the robberies. Once again, the different color dots just signifying the different color zones. When you see a couple slides from now, when we get to the major crime indicators, we have had increase in robberies this year, especially in May and June. But in August and now in September, we are bringing those robberies back down. We initiated an enforcement project here, and we've put in a lot of efforts to try and bring that number back down, and it has been working throughout the months of August and September.
Robberies are an ongoing concern, and we still do have some nice weather While we do have that nice weather, of course, we're not wearing our coats, we're not wearing heavy clothing, and jewelry is exposed. As I look around the room, I see some people in the room with things that I could take if I was interested in victimizing you or taking your jewelry. So when you're out there in the summertime, it's important for you to be aware of your surroundings. It's important for you to take whatever measures you can to secure your own person against victimization. Take those reasonable steps to protect yourself. Start putting on clothing, it becomes a little bit more difficult to visually see victims. We still need to continue to be mindful at that point. However, during the summer months, during the warmer weather, we do really need to be cognizant of what we're wearing and where we are and who is around us, and take whatever steps we can to protect ourselves.
Sorry, if I could just touch on that. I'm supposed you don't remember me, I've been to before. I'm sorry, board, Vanessa. With respect to the street robberies, the jury, as the superintendent has said, but what we did see a trend, especially with the kids in the summer, young kids or young people walking up to other people asking, excuse me, you know what the time is? Okay, the younger ones don't wear watches. First thing they do is they pull out their iPhone, and it's a snatch and grab. So just, if people can maybe even just make their kids or people in their families and their neighbors aware that that is one of the tactics that they have been using. We've had the chambers, as we said, but also from the cell phone. So it's just an immediate thing for young people to go to the phone at the time. So just to be aware. Okay.
Moving on. We have the theft of autos here. Theft of autos, they are up a little bit right now, but not a ton. This is something that, for the size of population, this division, we don't have a huge problem. As you can see, they're pretty sporadic and spread out through the entire map. So obviously keep your doors locked at night. And there's no drive outside now because it's warm, but it's mostly older model cars that are getting stolen. Pretty much for the past year now. So we see the newer model cars, the technology is pretty high. We don't really see too many newer model cars in this division stolen anymore. And then the next slide, here's the 7 major crime indicators. Like I said, these are 7 crimes picked up by Statistics Canada that they've going on in a neighborhood or a community. And we're doing pretty good this year so far. You see our assaults are down, our sexual assaults are down. Like I said, our robberies, right now they're up 43%. A lot of that number was driven in May and June by street robberies of youth on youth, stealing things like cell phones and necklaces. We did do an enforcement project throughout the summer, so August from July we reduced robberies by 25%, and then now in September we're on pace to reduce them by another 6%. So we are working on pushing that number down. There's 2 years worth of numbers there, and if you were to see a 5-year horizon there, we are still trending downwards over the past 5 years. And then you move on to break and enters, down 2%. That's a pretty impressive number. Since last year, we drove down 6, and then now we're maintaining that number this year, which is really good. Auto thefts, they are up a little bit, but those numbers are relatively small, which makes that percentage look a little bit larger. They're bigger numbers, the percentage gap doesn't look so much. And the same thing with them.
The 1 AM for the officers that work here, as Adam said, the smaller numbers in the increases in auto thefts and theft, they're very small numbers off the big picture. The actual numbers are not a huge increase. The big increase we have seen is in robberies. We were very fortunate in 2016. We were able to drive it down to 189 from 238 the year before. We're becoming a little bit victimized by our own success. In that year, we're seeing the numbers come back up to where they were the year before. 3 more than we saw in 2015, which is relatively equal. However, as Adam has said, we have in the summer seen a reduction in robberies. There was 2 days this week where we had no robberies, so we're very content with the downward trend. We're going to continue to work on that and try and get those numbers down further by the end of the year.
Just the last slide, I usually put up a little tip or something. So just focus on a little traffic awareness with September. We're back to school here. So we've seen a lot more of these school buses on around the road since last week. So just remember when you see those buses and your lights are flashing, you stop on the roads both ways. And another thing we always harp on here, which is the distracted driving. That causes a ton of accidents. And if you get caught doing either one of those things, it's a $490 fine. That's not very cheap. So keep those things in mind when you're on the road. That's it for my part, but I'm going to play a little bit of your call.
Do you mind if I just very quickly set it up? Was that yes?
Oh, yes.
Just quickly introduce it.
Sorry.
I won't be getting up later, so just wanted to quickly thank Don and Dave for coming. David, you know, is a legend. Workers, a legend in his own mind. It was just a line for itself.
We just got it open.
Often get questions Julie and I do and others about the effectiveness of cameras, security cameras using preventive crime. And I've heard it said by Tom McKee and Peel Region, I quite agree, is that they're great for capturing crime. Appreciate that, but they're rarely stop crime. So they're very useful to us as far as actually, not so much. We just found this one for this superintendent for this campaign, and it makes me. It bothers me a little bit to lock and reduce against the inference that you deserve to do something just because you block it. But that's where morality and reality, of course, intersect. So we're asking to lock up. This is security footage from down in the Guild, and you'll see no one gets in, but this is the amount of determination. If you would just simply lock your cars, you'll see how effective this would be. So this is a fellow's security footage here. He comes up. And that's it. All he did was lock his doors. Okay. So if you see that, there's no tools, there's no thought or anything. What I don't know is if there's anything being shown in that car displayed of value. But if you can just lock your doors at night, you'll see that's what it is. It's not a lot of preparation, it's things of opportunity. They're not breaking into the cars, they're just entering them and taking things.
I donated a $300 GPS a long ago, and I didn't lock my doors at night. That's a mistake, so.
Tis.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I learned a valuable lesson.
For silence, and as I say, I know we have a full agenda, so leave it at that.
All right, so we're moving on. We'll now go into the community portion of the meeting where we open the floor to anybody who has either got a personal issue they want to raise, bring to our attention that is a police matter, or you're representing one of the communities in our division and you want to bring something up. So before I open it up properly too, I just want to close off some of the events or some of the comments and concerns that were raised in the June meeting. And Cecilia suggested slowdown stands be purchased and placed in active school area driveways. But Paul is going to look into that.
Yeah, and they're fluorescent green in most cases, both that tall as you've seen, and they are almost exclusively supplied by the school photography companies. So as a way of getting in, you'll see they have a little advertisement on the bottom. So, but they are certainly out and about. Yeah.
Another member of the community raised concerns about one of our buildings, excuse me, 4205 Lawrence Avenue, and some of that building faces. So I'll just turn that over to Sergeant.
Good afternoon, everybody. Probably nobody knows me, but Sergeant Lapasse, I'm with the NSU here. So in terms of 4205, I'll add 41 to that as well, because the activities are both interconnected. 2 weeks, we've executed 4 search warrants for drugs at 4205 and 4175. We made numerous arrests, but it continues to be an issue. So we're there almost on a daily basis, building our relationships with the members of the community. We have a great relationship with the housing officers, and if by all means, if you have concerns, let us know. Obviously, if it's an emergency 911, sometimes people will come emergencies 911, other things, let us know. But we are out there, we hear your concerns, and we're doing what we can.
Okay, thank you. The last item that was raised that we could speak to from the, is Julie still in the room? There she is. Go back. So we had concerns about Guildwood Parkway motorcycles have been speeding with other vehicles, and it was suggested we place our speed board down there and collect some data. And I know our speed board is looked after by our auxiliaries, and we look after our auxiliaries. So
yeah, so our auxiliary, one of our auxiliary staff sergeants, Ben Otto, he was kind enough to put it down in the guild actually twice over this summer. So you know where the Guildwood is and the, all the construction that was along that roadway. So cars kind of slowed down for the spring when a lot of the construction was happening. And now that it's up and running and fully functioning, residents have said about a lot of speeding happening. So our speed board has reflected that there is some speeding issues in the area. And I know Happy has been down in that area enforcement. So kind of a two-pronged approach. So the enforcement, kind of the heavier hand set, but also the speed board, just to kind of gently remind residents and people who live in the area that, you know, are maybe traveling to and from work, and just kind of, because it is kind of a nice straightaway that, you know, people live there and their kids play in the front yard, and there's not a lot of parking at the new Guildwood Inn, so people are parking along the roadway, so it's even more important that people get slowed down along there. So we'll continue two methods to try and slow people down.
all right, well, thank you very much. So that sort of wraps up some of the issues that were raised in the June meeting. And now I want to open up the floor to anyone who would like to raise an issue, either, again, a police issue that is affecting you personally, or one that is affecting the community that you represent. So the floor is yours. Just raise your hand so we can keep some order, and then we can take people in order. Any issues? Calling once. Go ahead.
A couple of things that over the last maybe 3 or 4 months, you know, there was that scam that went on from Kenya, parts of South Africa, talking about somebody's died with an estate.
Yep.
That's kind of come up again. Like I work in a place in Markham, and they've been getting faxes practically once every week, and then they moved to Newmarket. And again, and I've also been getting some into my email, and just brought one for maybe pass it on.
Sure.
Or so that is one issue I was noticing while driving around the city of Toronto. I don't know if there's any law of tinting your glass, you know, for the car. Or there's some degree of tint. I've been noticing a lot of cars. It's almost like it's opaque. So I don't know if there's anything about that.
You're the expert.
Yeah, there's really not a percentage on tint. You have to be able to see it's that vehicle. Police officers, I am enforcing it when I see it. It's very dark. I can't see inside the vehicle. Windshields, you can't tint the windshields at all. Safety issue. There's a safety issue with windshields, but the sides and the back, the rear windows obviously you can tint.
I was thinking more in terms of enforcement.
Yeah,
You won't be able to see what's going on.
next week I will do a special blitz and I'll hammer a lot of people with things.
There's one other interesting thing. I was looking at license plates, and you know, there's a new style or a new design I've noticed that is convex. So till you're actually about maybe 2 feet or 3 feet from the plate, you can see it. But when you're a little bit beyond 3-4 feet, it looks like it's black. I don't know. That's it. I've noticed not one over the last 4-5 months, quite a number of cars having that, not in the front.
I noticed I was having a problem seeing a license plate, but I thought it was my age.
No.
But I'll ask Poppy to have a look at that too. I don't know, I haven't seen that particularly, but I'll ask Poppy to have a look at that and see if there's anything, a trend developing, but I honestly, I haven't seen that one.
So then there is a product that some places are selling, I know some of the like Giant Tiger, sort of this 407 is a perfect thing. You can see when you get close, but from a distance you can't. And if you confuse or obscure the identity of a plate, it's an offense in the Highway Traffic Act. You can't do it. You're caught with the device and it does confuse the identity of the plate, you'd be charged accordingly.
Perfect. Any other person want to raise a concern, police matter, personal, or from your community? Ask twice, I'll ask one more time. We'll just move on. Any concerns at all? Everybody's happy, everyone had a good summer. We did have a really good unfortunately, we were speaking of crime, and of course that's our focus here, community safety. We did have one homicide over the last few weeks, but we were able to make an arrest in that, which very happy with that. That was by any means random. It was people that were known to each other, so it was not a random act. So we've only had one of those in our division, and so we're very pleased with the safety that we're seeing. The fact that you're not raising any issues to us, and you can raise anything you want that's a police matter or speeding. You're not doing that. That tells me then that, or gives me that feedback that you're content with what you're seeing both in your neighborhoods and the neighborhoods that you represent here today. So that's gratifying.
Do you want to conclude that part of the meeting?
Yeah. Okay.